following me? Ah, that's still way too hot. Do you know what's strange? Is like I never ever used to like coffee. I was like, ugh, so bitter. And now, first thing I do before starting anything is just grab one, watch something, get it down me, and then I start. So yeah, let me finish this and then we'll get onto that. Well, in actual fact, I was very productive because in the time I drank the coffee, I edited everything you've seen up until now, which certainly beats death scrolling through reels, which we're all guilty of sometimes falling in the whirlpool. I've done it before, I've been watching a couple of things, I've looked up and it's been an hour. So here is the tank on day 3. Day 1, we set the substrate system all up and we put the hardscape in, which went really, really well. Yesterday, everything was planted. We filled the whole thing up with water. And then I sabotaged my own tank by adding a proper new piece of dense bogwood in the back that I knew would release a load of tannins, which is what we're seeing here. All this murkiness is the tannins. And all of this, remember, is to create realism. I'm not in the habit of like sabotaging my own tanks. Oh, drama. No, I'd rather do without the headache, if I'm honest. But I know that this is the scene that a lot of people would come to after filling up their tank for the first time when they come down in the morning. Now, I left the lights on all night, and that was just purely so I get all the plants sort of standing up. We didn't fill it till the end of the day, so like technically it's had 24 hours by the end of today, and then I'll turn it off. Yeah. I mean, 24 hours of light is not going to do anything to a brand new tank, so don't worry about that. Obviously, if you've got fish in there, you don't want them like, oh, we just want to go sleep. Now, obviously, if we had a big canister filter attached with like activated carbon and polymers and things like that, some fine filter floss, it would be far less pronounced. But filters require maintenance. That is not the point of this tank. Everything we've got on it so far is just gonna, what's that? Oh, I thought I saw something in the surface skimmer, it's just a leaf, which means it's doing its job, which is good. But yeah, I don't want to put anything in the tank that's gonna require maintenance. I've got spare canister filters, don't get me wrong, but I just enjoy the challenge. I think this is just going to be really fun. Now, with all this surface agitation, you tend to get more evaporation. Topping up the water is still maintenance, so obviously eventually you're going to have to do some water topping up, but I want to minimize it as much as possible, and for that I've got another product. So remember, for this tank, I'm not doing the whole no tech thing. I'm not adverse to tech. If it makes the job easier, then I want to use it. So I bought some stuff from Superfish. I've got a skimmer to replace the one that I've just put in. The other one I just put in, I borrowed from another tank. This one needs to go in that tank. I have got an auto feeder, which means you don't even have to feed the fish, which I'm doing anyway, obviously on all the other tanks, but automation. And then the other thing is this little nugget here, which is like a thing you clip on and put a bottle on. My favourite, Pepsi Max. This is Pepsi Max caffeine free. I have to get the caffeine free because I'm quite an energetic, excitable character anyway, I'm sure you've noticed. And like the coffee caffeine seems to be fine. I get, you know, wakes me up, fine. Caffeine in Pepsi or Coke makes me like, I just can't sleep at all for hours and hours and hours. So if I'm having like a drink in the evening, maybe a couple of vodkas or something at the weekend, and I just can't sleep. I'll lay in bed, it's 12 o'clock, and I'm like, why aren't you tired? Close my eyes for half an hour and then be like, I'm still not tired. And bear in mind, I've been getting up at like 4 or 5 o'clock every single morning and still can't sleep, so I have to get the caffeine free. Who cares? And I took this out of the recycling bin, so it's a little bit battered, but you know, reusing stuff and that. So yeah, basically this little nugget, from what I can tell, goes on the edge of the aquarium. You put your bottle in the top full of water, and then as the water level drops, the water in the bottle, I don't even know the science and magic behind it, just sort of fills it up. I don't know how all of the water doesn't just go straight into the tank, but you know, Science. Okay, so from what I can tell from the instructions, you've got the pipe here, which you obviously cut in half. And it says at an angle, one goes in the water to actually top up, and the other one goes to the height that you want the water level to be. Hopefully that works. Oh, these look like spacers for your aquarium sort of rim to make sure it's snug. However, that's actually a problem for me because it says that the maximum gap is 10 mil. See 10 mil? You can see 10 mil. No, you can't see 10 mil. And the thickness of my glass is 12 mil. Now, rather than going, oh, well, it doesn't work, I'm just going to try and sort of shave a couple of mil off so it's nice and snug. And how am I going to do that? I have no idea. I'm probably just going to get a sharp knife and just try and scrape it, to be honest. Whoa, that was close. Maybe try something else. Okay, I've got it. Look, come in at an angle. Can you sit there? I don't know if you can see. Come in at an angle and then pull down and it stops itself. It doesn't hack off my finger. And for legal reasons, I'm suggesting you don't do this at home because I am not liable, okay? Right, I've almost got, I mean, that would hold, but if I just sandpaper off a little bit more off this side, it'll actually fit quite nicely. Don't want to go too far of it because then it'll be loose and that will be a problem. Nearly, it's getting there, it's just some at the back. Right, I think that's enough. I've been hacking for a while. Yep, there we go. Nice and snug, not going anywhere. Right, now for the tubes. So one stays long to go in the tank. Stick that on. And the other one goes to the water depth, so I'm gonna have to take this over and like sort of measure it up. So that sits over like that. That one, cool, I don't need a lot of tool to come off. I'm gonna trim it there, or pinch it there so I can see. Take it out, and I think it says you cut at an angle, so I can do that. Right, and then just place it back in, I guess. Might need a little bit off of that. I'll stick with that for now. Probably a good idea to thoroughly rinse out the Pepsi bottle first. And I think we just screw that on. Well, fill it up with water first. Now, I'm pretty sure this is designed for nano tanks and smaller bottles. But we are going to do it anyway. There we go. Then I guess we just sort of swing it over. Put it on. Nice and firmly. Now this video is proudly sponsored by Pepsi. No, it's not. Well, I guess I should now, like, are you supposed to cut the top? I don't even know. I don't think you are. Maybe you are. Let me just check online. I mean, yeah, you're definitely supposed to do something because that water is going in. It's going in the tank, hence creating a vacuum. Right, so I couldn't really see much online, but basically when I turned it upside down, both the spouts are pouring out water, obviously gravity. Now, when I put it back in the tank, the shorter pipe needs to be above the water line, only just above it, and then the longer pipe will just continue to pour until that water level comes up to the shorter one, and then you're solid. It's not going down at all now. And like every now and again, like once an hour or so, you just hear a bloop, and that's where some of the water's gone in and the air has replaced it. So yeah, thank you, Superfish. Thank you, Pepsi. Now, I don't know how long that'll last, but obviously we'll see. I'm guessing it's probably, when it's full, I mean, I will fill it back up, but probably gonna last at least a week or so. And then if I get 4 of them, it'll last a month. And doesn't it just look fantastic sat there as well? I quite like it. It's good. What the hell is that? Like, oh, don't worry, that's my, a really complicated auto water top-off system. As you can see, the water level is absolutely perfect. Yeah, guys, it's that if you're interested. Just don't get it and hack it up like I did. Like I say, I think it's designed for a lot smaller tanks. But, you know, if it works well, I'll probably get some more and do that. If it doesn't, for this size tank, then I'll probably get like a big system. And obviously we've got the auto feeder as well, but there's no fish yet, so I'll wait till the fish are in to set that all up. Oh, this isn't sponsored or anything, by the way, guys. I am sponsored by Superfish, but I just bought these, not part of a sponsored video. They're not expensive. Like, I always use Superfish stuff because it's just really affordable. And it works as well. Oh yeah, there's another pack. I don't actually know what this is. It says gravel cleaner, but I do not have gravel cleaners, so I'm not even sure what I've ordered. Ah, yes, now I remember. Rio Zingu gravel. I love this stuff. It's like a mixed detail gravel of like all shades and sizes. It just looks so good in river style tanks because I am building one soon. So yeah, this tank has been sat empty for quite a while. Needs a little bit of a clean up and that and sorting out the filter. But I'm gonna be building like a really cool looking like side-on view of a river sort of edge, because I've got some fish down here that I've had for a while. I saw them in the shop and thought, oh, I've not seen those, so I've got to have them. I have got dwarf danios. They're so active. Danios just go everywhere. There's dwarf danios. There's a couple of little lampires as well. And there's also these, I'm not sure what kind of barb they are, to be honest. I did not buy them. Strangely enough, I was looking in this tank one day and I saw some teeny tiny babies at the bottom. Maybe they got scooped up because the adults are in the same tank as them in the fish shop. But all of a sudden there's 1, 2, 3, 4 baby barbs here. And I don't know what they are. It's going to be hard, but what does anyone... There you go. What do you think? Can anyone ID those barbs? Obviously they're going to be a lot bigger than that, and it could be not even be their adult coloration. But yeah, mystery to me. I'm grateful for it. Got some nice little barbs. So what are we going to do about this murkiness then? Now, there's a few options. You could just leave it and just enjoy tannin water. It will only get more and more sort of browny. It starts off with this sort of murkiness and then it goes brown. So yeah, you could leave it if that's the look you want to go for. I'm not particularly a massive fan of it. I am on a specific tank that, you know, that's what you're going for, but that's not really what I want in this one. So I know the whole point of this is like self-sustaining, no water changes, as little, you know, as possible. But that's after the bedding in sort of phase, which is going to be a couple of weeks to a month, depending on, well, multiple factors. I can't even say, because sometimes it's really quick and sometimes it isn't. I mean, I've had it happen in a week before, everything's settled and looking good. So I think what I'll do is I'll just whip the water down and up again, and any tannins released by the wood will be out, and then like the amount that's leaching after that will be far, far less. And usually one big water change after new wood goes in, if it's not like the stuff that's continuously leaching and you've got tons of it, is enough to reduce that sort of murkiness completely. It doesn't really come back. I mean, time will tell, obviously. But before I do the water change, I just want to test the water. I want to know what's going on. Are we leaching anything from the substrate system? Did I put too much soil in that's now causing a ton of nitrite in the water, or even nitrate or ammonia or anything like that? You know, it's good to have the information. So the testing shows we've basically got no sign of anything, to be honest. pH is at 7, just as it is at my tap. There's the slightest of hint of green to the ammonia, but again, that's how it comes out of my tap as. It normally shows about 0.2 ppm out of the tap, which I don't, maybe it's the colouring of the room, the lighting, I don't know. No nitrite, and nitrate is basically at 0. Maybe the slightest hint there. If there is, it's probably coming from the wood. But that's a good sign. It basically means that the capping layer's worked, nothing's leaching into the water, and yeah, all good. We can change the water knowing that everything is decent below it. For now, anyway, obviously there'll be a lot more testing as time goes by, just to make sure of things, especially before we put fish in. No, that's not the plug. There we go. Okay, so nothing complicated for my water changes. Just a big piece of like pond hose. It's good diameter as well, which means that it takes it down nice and quickly. I'll just suck on the other end and get it flowing. There we go, water's draining. Oh, the auto top off is trying to fill up as fast as it can. And yeah, to be honest, I might as well just take out pretty much all of the water and fill it back up again. Filling from my water butt here. So there's a little pump inside. Switch that on. Got a ball valve here and just the end of this is like the inlet of a filter. I just attach some hose to it. Yeah, then just stick it in. I would fill it up like now, but I actually want like all of this water to drain out first and then I'll refill it. There we go then, all sorted and clear for now. Hopefully the tannins stay low and they don't come back over the next day. They might do a little bit, but we've reduced a lot of the fine particles as well as the tannins in the water now. And depending on how much was in that bogwood will depend on what it looks like tomorrow.